Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about some of the best Fortnite settings and controller binds out there that'll help you excel in Fortnite Chapter 5. So let's get into it. Window mode, I use full screen, resolution 1920 by 1080, VSync I have off, frame rate, I usually cap that at 240 FPS. You should really cap that at whatever your monitor or TV is able to do. And for rendering mode, I use performance mode. Brightness 100%, user interface 1x, colorblind mode off, 3D resolution 100%, view distance far, textures low. I use high meshes. I like the look of it and it doesn't really decrease your FPS by that much. Show FPS on, performance stats disabled. Having performance stats on could actually decrease your FPS, so it's best to just have that disabled. Now for audio, you're going to be able to change this and customize this to whatever your preference is, but this is just what I use. And I do have sound quality set to high. It's good for being able to tell exactly where people are. Background audio notifications only. Visualize sound effects on. I cannot stress this enough. This is probably the most important setting on this entire screen for you to have visualized sound effects turned on. Voice chat, everybody. I don't have open mic or anything. I don't have a push to talk. Toggle sprint on, auto open doors on, mantle activation, hold to jump, hurdle activation, press jump, hold to swap pickup on, toggle targeting off, mark danger when targeting off, auto pickup weapons off, and I do use preferred item slots. I think this works really well with the current Chapter 5 meta. So go shotgun, utility, consumable, sniper, and then your AR. I think this works really well so far in Chapter 5 where you don't really need to run the SMGs. Reset building choice on, disable pre-edit off. This should be on actually. This is best for controller players. I think pre-editing can get you really messy sometimes with building. Turbo building, of course, on. And auto-confirm edits, I do both. I think this really allows you to keep up with the speed of mouse and keyboard players, especially when editing. Extra game options, these are all kind of the default settings. You know, this is all your preference. FOV, I do 72 and 102 for the max. Record replays, I have off across the board. So in your game UI settings, I have reticle on, reticle ammo indicator off, damage number is cumulative, damage feedback is hit only, damage number scale, I have a bit bigger than 100%. I just like to be able to see the numbers a bit bigger, especially when in battles. HUD scale, I have it at 70%. I think the default takes up a little too much space on the screen. Show spectator count off, player health on, resources on, minimap on, quick bar on, target info on, pick up loot stream on, map and backpack keys on, elimination feed on, latency debug stats. I think it's a little bit clunky, so I usually have this off. Net debug stats on. Quest progress on, control prompts on, creative runtime, just the default on. Now over to controller. Controller auto run I have turned on. Build immediately in Builder Pro on. Edit whole time. I have edit bound to another button and we'll cover that in a bit. But I have that all the way turned down. Slide, I have it a little bit below the default just because I don't like how long you have to press in or click because I use my left trigger for a slide. Reset camera access, pitch, vibration off. I think it's pretty important that you play with vibration off. I think vibrate on can get a little funky sometimes, and a lot of people will argue whether it hurts or improves your aim. Quick weapon, I don't use quick weapon. I haven't found a real need for it yet. Toggle behavior, previous equipped item. I think that going back, and I usually have my shotgun whenever I go for my pickaxe. I always usually walk around carrying the shotgun, so I think it's pretty important to have your toggle behavior for previous equipped items set to what it was before. All right, now sensitivity. So my look sensitivity is 4. My ADS sensitivity is also 4. My build mode sensitivity is 2.5. My edit mode sensitivity is 1.9. Use advanced options on. So my look horizontal speed is at 44%. My look vertical speed is also at 44%. My turning horizontal boost, turning vertical boost, and boost ramp time are all set to 0. I don't think you should use any boost time. I think it hurts you more than it ends up helping you. Now for your ADS sensitivities, my horizontal is at 13%. My vertical is also at 13%. And just like for your regular sensitivity, I have horizontal boost, vertical boost, and boost ramp time all set to 0. Now onto advanced sensitivity. Look dampening time 0%. I use linear instead of exponential. Aim assist strength 100%. So dead zones, I use a 13% dead zone for my left and my right stick. I know it's pretty far below what their default is, but this is just what works best for me, and I think it gives me a little bit more control. Enable foot controller off. It can really help with input delay. And for my binds, I have jump bound to triangle. Triangle is actually bound to my back right paddle, so I use a PlayStation Elite controller with 2 paddles. Everything else is pretty much the default settings. My pickaxe is actually bound to my X button. Crouch, tap, slide, hold is my right stick. Building is bound to circle still. I think that's the default on almost all PlayStation controllers. Change material, the same thing. All the buttons are the same. Toggle map is the big select button. So in my edit settings, I actually have edit bound to right on my D-pad. And that right on my D-pad is actually bound to my back left paddle. I think it's pretty important that you're able to edit quickly, especially when playing builds on controller, than if you need to build. So I'd rather be able to not touch my controller while editing instead of building there. I don't think it's a perfect solution, but I think it really helps bridge that gap. Everything else is pretty much the default when it comes to your binds. Those are the only real differences that I use. They work for me. And again, I use a PS5 Elite controller with 2 paddles. I think if you're not using paddles on controller, I think you're at a pretty significant disadvantage compared to everybody else. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, use code TWINS in the item shop, and I'll catch you next time.